Hello, guys. Welcome to the live session on cybersecurity. Um, I hope you guys are joining right now. So, with me is Mr. Usman Ghani. He is basically Chief Information Security Architect. So, um, with a little pause, I will definitely introduce in detail about Mr. Usman. So, I'm thinking that still many people are joining us on a live YouTube session. So this session is basically our first session of Byte series and presenting by TecMan. So our strategic partners are Architect Solutions, NodeCypher and OGMC. So this session is basically will be, a lead by Mr. Usman Ghani. And Mr. Usman Ghani has a very long and very leading career in information security, cybersecurity, and auditing, which is covering almost 28 years. So it's a very long experience. Mr. Usman has done his MBA in telecommunication from University of San Francisco in 1996. So he is a certified information security professional by ISC2. He worked in many companies with many clients, offshore, onshore, in different parts of the world. So, as an information security consultant, he worked with Senscom. He worked also with C4I, Infotech, 4G Fertilizer, and I3 Consulting. So, being an ICT consultant, he worked with the Deutsche GIZ, which is a German entity, and also he worked with the World Bank. Currently, he's working as a chief security officer and advisor with NodeCypher, and that is a Canadian company. So you can find more details on the LinkedIn of Mr. Usman, and we will also let you know the upcoming session of Mr. Usman in on at the end of the session, which are which are the free and which are the paid session. Let's see at the end of this session. I think this is the right time. I can give this platform to Mr. Usman, so he can also introduce himself as well in short, and also he can start his discussion and his knowledge about cybersecurity essentials. So over to you, Mr. Usman.
Thank you very much, Saqib. Thanks for the introduction. And guys, whoever is joining, welcome to this session. Saqib, I think, has pretty much summed up my experience. Uh, Although I would like to add that for the last 20 years, I have been working as a cybersecurity and information security consultant for many of the large enterprises, international financial institutions, and such. And also, not only that, but also a lot of small and medium enterprises. And this is why, when we're talking about it, we thought that, which area is the one that needs to be addressed first in any live session, because a lot of big companies, they have their own cybersecurity and information security centers, but most of the small and medium enterprises, they lack the knowledge as well as the expertise in-house. So this session is mainly targeted towards the SMEs, just for that specific reasons. And again, I welcome you all, and I would like to start off with the slide deck that I'll be going through, and there'll be a session for question and answers right in the end, where I'll take your questions, and we can discuss any ideas or any suggestions that you may have, and we'll get to that in the end. So let's start. Okay, I assume everyone can see the presentation. This is basically Cybersecurity Essentials, and I have sort of created as a practical guide for small and medium-sized enterprises. I'm Usman Ghani, and I'm the Chief Information Security Architect at NodeCypher. It's a Canadian company, and we have been helping out not only Canadian organizations but also a lot of international companies as well. Moving on, I went through my introduction a little earlier, so after that, uh, why is cybersecurity a matter of concern for small SMEs? There are several reasons, but a few of these I'm going to discuss them here. The first one is that SMEs are basically prime targets of cyber attacks. The reason being that they have less robust defenses, as I mentioned earlier, that they're small, they don't have a lot of them don't have enough budget for information and cybersecurity. But on the same, on the other hand, they do have valuable data. I mean, the data to a large company may not be that useful, their data, but to them, that data is very useful. Imagine if you're a small, I don't know, manufacturing company, you manufacture car parts, and you have a database for all your customers, clients, your CRM, your car parts, your manufacturing, and suddenly all the data is lost. I mean, how much effort would it be just to get the data back? So the data is very valuable. Going forward, consequences of a breach, financial loss, and reputation damage. Those are much bigger for a small and medium enterprise company as they are for a large company. I mean, imagine we there is a small company that has $1 million of sales, and they incur sort of a disruption, or they have a reputational damage or operational disruption, or they have a legal lawsuit that incurs them a damage of maybe $500,000 or $1 million. They'll go out of business. So the breach of $1 million is much more effective for a small enterprise than it is for a large enterprise. The next one is the threat landscape. Going forward, I mean, 10 years ago, most of the codes and the cybersecurity tools, they were sort of in the access of only experts, and there were not many tools. You had to be an expert in order to use them. But nowadays, with AI and with advanced tools, anyone who's even an experimental person, they can come across these tools, uh, you know, and they can wreak havoc in an organization. They can create ransomware very easily. You can create a phishing site using a tool in 10 minutes, and you can, steal somebody's data. So the threat landscape has expanded by a lot over the last few years, and that specifically is a cause of concern for the SMEs. And this is what I say, that a lot of companies and a lot of people in the C class of a company, they say is that, it hasn't happened to us yet. We're not that important. And I say to them that it's not a matter of if, but it's when. So if it hasn't happened to you, it does not mean it won't happen. It's only a matter of time that when it happens to you, are you going to be prepared for it? Have you prepared for it? Have you uh, enforced your systems, reinforced your systems accordingly? So moving forward, why do SMEs, why should they care about security? Well, here are some numbers. As I was talking earlier, that a company of maybe a size of $1 million, if it gets a data breach of $1 million that costs $1 million, it'll go under. And these the numbers that I'm going to just display here, there are a few of them, are basically the sort of, I mean, I'm not going to use them as a scare tactic, but the problem is that these are facts and these are the factors that affect, a lot of the decision making in a lot of large enterprises as well as small enterprises. So a data breach can cost up to an average data breach can cost up to 4.45 million to a company, a single one, a single data breach. So if there is a data breach, I mean, in your company, maybe it's not that much, but there's an average. So it could be, 100, 200,000. What are you going to do? And 43% of cyber attacks, they target small businesses. So that's a big number compared to the common thought that small businesses are not the target because they are small and they are the data is not important to people. And here's the number that I was talking about: the 60% of SMEs go out of business within 6 months of a breach. This is a fact that is makes it a cause of concern for a lot of small enterprises, that if there is a data breach big enough, it may make them go out of business. So, I mean, they may have a very good business plan, they may have a very well running business, good people, but a data breach can set them back. And if you are dealing with organizations and companies, or if you're holding data of even the residents of the European Union, you can have GDPR fines. And they can reach up to, they're like, this number is 2.92 billion. The data protection violation. So even a small factor of it can be a cause of concern, should be a cause of concern. Going forward, okay, we're going to talk about some common cyber threats that are faced by SMEs. The first one is the phishing and social engineering. I think that most of you must have heard about phishing. Most of you have, experienced it as well. Basically, it's the email scams, and now the email and other kind of scams that target your mobile phones. It's just not the email; it's your WhatsApp, it's your SMS. So these kind of scams, and people can generate fake invoices. They can harvest your credentials. So very real looking website is shown to you, and you are asked to reset your password. So that's one major threat. And what you need to do to basically guard against that, uh, it's the training of employees to spot red flags. Uh, we at NodeCypher, we do provide regular trainings to companies and organizations. You can, within your organization, have a training program that you can run by yourself or by an external partner. It doesn't have to be, very rigorous training, but just get your employees to understand what a phishing scam looks like, what a phishing email looks like, and just they should spot the red flags and find out how to spot them. The next and very important thing is the ransomware. That's also very common these days. Ransomware is basically a kind of a virus that, if it infects your computer, can encrypt all the data, so you won't be able to access the data, and they basically demand for payment. And this highlights the importance of backups. That if something does happen of this sort, you should be able to have backups that you can recover, unless you want to pay the ransom. Uh, and this has happened. This is interestingly, this has happened. Uh, I've talked to a few companies, and I did work with one company also. They didn't have any backup, and they wanted us to basically sort of get the ransom amount reduced, and they ended up paying the ransom because they didn't have the backup. Uh, so sometimes, if the company is not prepared, then be ready to either lose the data or pay the money, or on the other side, have anti-ransomware software installed, like Endpoint security, or and also keep your data backed up for safety. And again, there is the general, malware and spyware that keeps lurking around. Um, you can download it. You can go to malicious websites, and they can be downloaded on your computer, your mobile phone, without you even knowing. Even a lot of times, there are these antivirus software that do not detect the latest kind of zero-day attack viruses. So we'll have to think about solutions that help you guard against these kinds of attacks. And at NodeCypher, we do have these solutions, and we can discuss them at the end as well. Again, as I mentioned, antivirus and anti-malware solutions are the answer to these problems. Uh, More threats. This is very important. Weak passwords and credential thefts. Uh, Even if you do not, you have every kind of infrastructure installed on your computer, on your website, on your systems, on your business site, you still have the risk of losing your access and your passwords by way of, having weak passwords, and someone can steal your credentials. Uh, for that, there are again solutions. You can do multi-factor authentication. What that is basically, as many of you must have seen these days, that whenever you enter a password, before logging you in, the system asks you for another kind of authentication. It could be biometric through your phone, or it could send you an email on the given email address that you had registered with, and that uses the second authentication method by sending a one-time password (OTP) to an email or to an through an SMS message, and that's what multi-factor authentication is. And the other one is strong password policies. uh, when I started off like 20 years ago, in those days, strong password was still a thing of you know desire for a lot of organizations, that we have to have strong passwords. But who would remember those passwords? So people would write down those passwords, and they usually have one or two, one for their online email, uh, one for their work computer. But as the time has passed, what has happened is that now we use so many SaaS applications online. We have accounts everywhere, here and there. So we end up creating so many accounts that we need to have passwords for. And you can't have the same password for everything. What if it's lost? So you end up basically losing all your data. So one solution to that is to have a password manager that you can install on your computer or on your browser, that you can put a really strong password and multi-factor authentication on, and you can store all your passwords there. That is one of the very secure solutions that you can have. And importantly, insider threats. What is an insider threats? Is a threat by an employee. There are disgruntled employees who, want to harm your company, who want to steal the data and sell it somewhere. It could be an employee, it could be a friend of an employee, it could be a visitor. So it could be accidental or it could be malicious. And these kind of threats need to be catered for by using stronger access controls and also monitoring. And we'll be talking about that later as well. Okay, this is basically a very simple case study that I sometimes discuss with my parents, with my parents and my customers as well. I just read this from my parents' phone. This for all you guys. Have a look at this, and can you share your opinion on what it is and what is the red flag in this message? Can any one of you come up with maybe a red flag with this one? Let's have a question in the audience. Okay. Right. Anyone? Bueller? Okay, the phone number. Very good, very good. Because a bank or a financial institution would not give you a direct phone number. The other one is the ATM card has been blocked by State Bank. State Bank does not block your ATM cards. So bank does that. So that right away is a give. That State Bank. Why would State Bank be calling you from a simple cellular number to block your ATM card? So there you have it. Good one. Phone number. So the first question was that what type of cyber attack is this? This is basically a phishing attack where somebody sends you a message, and most of the phishing attacks and the key errors you identify what kind of errors were there, and how can you protect from yourself from these attacks? Again, it's to train yourself to understand that these type of messages most probably are going to contain some kind of a malware or some sort of a phishing attack, and you need to be prepared for that. Remember, like many years ago, you would hear stories about when you sit in a bus, you should not eat anything from a stranger. Your mom or your dad or your uncle will tell you that whenever you're traveling, don't take anyone from anything to eat from a stranger. Well, these are the instructions that the parents or the colleagues should be giving each other, is that never ever open a message that has these kind of red flags. So this is the kind of training that you have to train your mind on, is not to basically act right away on this kind of a message, because these phishing attacks, basically it's a human psyche that sort of triggers these attacks, and we'll talk about that later. But first of all, we're going to talk about the foundational pillars of SME cybersecurity. Basically, there are three of them. The people. People are in your organization one of the key pillar in keeping your organization secure, and they can be trained using the awareness and training programs. The second one is to have processes in place, which includes policies, procedures, and incident response plans. Now, these policies, procedures, a lot of people they say, we do not have a budget and we do not have the size and the resources to implement proper policies and carry out procedures and have incident response plans. But what I do, I suggest is that it's not about the size, it's about the readiness. You can have the readiness even when you're small. You can have simple policies, you can have actionable procedures, and you can have incident response plans that are tailored specifically to your organizations. The next one is the technology, obviously, the tools and solutions. We'll be talking about the endpoint security, we'll be talking about password managers, and a lot of other technology solutions. Okay, so now we're going to sort of get into detail about these pillars, talking about the people and their training and awareness. Why is the training crucial? Because, as I just mentioned in the previous example and the case study, that you need to condition your mind. It's not, training is not like going and sitting in a big conference hall or in a big hall and trying to understand long slides. Training is basically conditioning your mind. It's thinking that anyone can cyber attack you any time of the day. You could be sitting in your bed, browsing your phone, and you could be the target of a cyber attack. So, somebody's trying to steal your phone data, somebody's trying to steal your financial data. So it could happen anytime. So a regular training is very important. And phishing simulations basically are practical exercises that you use to build resilience, that you use to build condition your employees on how to detect these kind of attacks. And then, very importantly, social engineering and recognizing what the manipulation tactics are. As part of our training programs, what we do is we also sort of train people and help organizations understand what social engineering is and basically how to sort of capture the tactics of other people that are trying to manipulate you. I mean, for example, I'll tell you that the two of the key factors that are involved in social engineering is A is the greed and B is the fear. So basically, fear of losing something or fear of your boss's anger and greed for getting more money or greed for getting things done the easier way. So these are the kind that kind of loop you into one of these traps. And then in the end, it's not just each employee in itself, it's basically a security culture and make the cybersecurity responsibility for everyone, not just a few people who are sitting maybe in your information security department or maybe your higher management or maybe your IT team, but also even the runner or even office boy needs to be very about how to secure the information that is in your organization. Okay, this is a quick quiz. It's about phishing and social engineering. There are these four options. Which of the following is the best way to verify a suspicious email request from your CEO for the urgent money transfer? So what if your CEO has sent you an email and he wants that, okay, transfer this much amount urgently to this account because they are our, a regular purchaser, and we are selling them. So they're selling us their products, and you are going to pay to them. So just send out, this much money to them, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So what are you the best way to handle this kind of thing? Let's see how many say A, B, C, or D. What's the common consensus? Okay, it seems like we're having sort of okay, there you go. Most of them are saying it's C. Call the CEO directly on a known trusted phone number. Exactly, that's the correct answer. You should never reply to the email because it may take you to a link that is basically that the sender intends you to go to. So you should not do that. Or again, clicking on any of the other links trying to see where they lead, because there could be malware in that. So don't even try it. And last one was forward the email to your entire team for their opinion again that you may be spreading a virus within your organization. So the correct answer is C, call the CEO directly on a known trusted phone number. And this is what you should be doing in a lot of other situations as well. Specifically, like somebody calls you and says, I'm calling from the bank, and please give me your ID and Mr. So and so. I know your name, and I have your ID card number. Also, I have the first four digits. Please, can you fill out the last ones? And the first thing you should tell them is that tell me which bank you're from, and I'll call back to that bank on their number, and then I'll ask the help people whatever the problem is. Then I'll give my information to them. So at least on the other side, you do know that whoever you're calling is a trusted number or is a trusted email for that matter. Talking about the pillars of cybersecurity for SMEs, the process, policies, and planning. We talked about a few of the policies and processes that should be in place. Uh, First one is the password policy. You should have, and these are basically, a lot of organizations, when they're quite big, they have multiple cybersecurity or information security policies in tens of number, like 20, 30, up to that number of policies. But for small to medium enterprises, there are a certain set of policies that has to be implemented, and one of them is the access policy and the password policy. Uh, and these policies should address the complexity, rotation, and unique passwords in the policy. And whenever the people are setting up their password, they should follow this policy. Again, the access control should be least privileges and role-based access, meaning that not everyone in your organization is the administrator. The CEO of the company is not the administrator. He should not get the privilege of an administrator. It should be role-based access. I have seen a lot of companies where the CEO does have the admin access. He wants to have it all, and then he ended up corrupting the system. And then they're running after the IT to fix it. And if that happens, then the data backup strategy, the next one, is uh, the answer to that, and that should be there. You should have a data backup strategy, and the best rule is the what we call the 3-to-1 rule. You should have 3 copies of data. One is the original one, and then 2 copies. The 2 copies, other ones should be on 2 different medias, meaning they should either one be on hard disk and the other one should be offsite. So in the cloud or wherever you're storing your data. And then, very importantly, you should have an incident response plan. If something happens, you should know what to do in case of a breach, and you need to be ready to detect, respond, and recover from a breach. And then it not only just remains within your organization, but you should also have these policies addressing your vendors as well, like connecting to your vendors, getting data and sharing data with your vendors and third-party suppliers. So those should be addressed in the policies as well. And the third one is the third pillar is the technology, which is the essential tools. Specifically, there are now endpoint protection, which sort of combines antiviruses, anti-malwares, and that endpoint protection should be implemented on your computers, your laptops, mobile devices, and IoT devices also, if they have the capacity to implement some sort of endpoint protection. And they should also have a firewall. And this is now we're talking about SMEs, that if you have a single location or even multiple locations, you should have firewalls controlling the network traffic uh, for your organization, and it should be configured correctly. I mean, it should not be open by default, and it should not have the default passwords. We discuss when we have our detailed sessions, we discuss each of them in detail on how to sort of carry out each of these activities and what kind of recommendations we would give you, and if you request us, we can do these things for you as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's the MFA, the multi-factor authentication, is also adding extra layer of security beyond passwords. And it should be implemented not just on your personal passwords, but specifically on your VPN, on your critical apps, and on your administrator passwords as well. The administrator of your organizations should not have the admin123 password and the default password for everything, while everyone in your organization is setting up, long tedious passwords. More technology tools, data encryption. Data should be encrypted while in rest and in transit, meaning encrypting data on your hard disks. So if your laptop is stolen, your data is secure, and you should not even let it be unsecure when you're transmitting the data, meaning secure emails, secure communication between parties setting up VPNs. And again, disk encryption and secure communication are two methods in which we do that. And again, the secure network Wi-Fi configuration. A lot of companies have, these standard Wi-Fi security implemented with weak passwords. It is as bad as somebody sitting right next to you in your office and connecting their Ethernet cable into your system. So secure your Wi-Fi as well. And then in the end, patch management, meaning you have implemented everything, but you haven't updated your patches, patched the software in the last 2 years. There are a lot of viruses that sort of detect those, and they can infect the systems if they are not patched properly. Another quiz. What should be the first step in your incident response plan after discovering a cyber incident? Either you should delete all the affected files if you have a cyber incident, or you should notify all your customers that, hey, we have a cyber attack. Please, we're trying to secure your data. Or isolate the affected system to prevent further spread, or pay the ransom demand. TikTok. Let's see. Okay. Seems like, yep. Okay. Yeah. C is the answer. So, yeah, there as well. Good. Moving on. Actionable steps for SMEs today that you can take actionable steps. These are the top 5 ones. The first one is implement endpoint security on your PCs, laptops, and mobiles, as I mentioned earlier. Second one, implement multi-factor authentication, which is password management on all critical accounts, as I mentioned, not just your own personal accounts, but also specifically on your firewall access accounts, on your server accounts, on your cloud accounts. Everything should have MFA enabled. Next one, backup your data regularly and test those backups. This is very important. A lot of people they used to have these data backups on the CDs, and they used to host sort of store it offsite as well. But when they brought it back to recover something from those backups, it didn't work. So what good is a backup if you cannot restore it properly? Even if you store it on the cloud, you should have a backup and testing strategy in place that you do it very frequently to check if your backed up data is of any use. Train your employees on phishing and basic security awareness. That's very important, as I mentioned. And training is not just an organization-wide training. You can have small sessions with employees. You can give them some material on and off through email. You can have some brochures handed out at workplace, some banners posted within the workplace. So there is a lot of different ways in which you can train your employees. And the last one is for SME, develop a basic incident response plan. It should be a part of your cybersecurity policy. Now, we're going to talk about how you can manage security for an SME. If you do not have the budget, if you do not have the resources, what we suggest is that you go for what we call a managed security, meaning that let somebody else manage the security for you, just like you let somebody else store your data on the cloud for you. You let Amazon Web Services store your data. You let Microsoft store your emails. So you let somebody else manage your security for you if you are an SME. And this is at NodeCypher how we do it. We have a managed security program where we do the need assessment when we come in. And interestingly, we provide a 30-minute free consultation to anyone who want to implement managed security. And that's free of charge. We come and we discuss with you. And even at the end, you do not get our services, you'll still walk away with a good amount of knowledge on how you can do it, even if you want to do it yourself. And then basically what you get from a managed security is that in the technology side, you get endpoint detection, you get something like cloud workload protection, incident response, threat hunting. And in the competency area, in the expertise area, we provide our security program and architecture for you specifically tailored to your needs. We also provide compliance assistance for you, risk management, data classification. We provide all these competency services to you as well if you do your managed security. And it, in the end, provides visibility to through these dashboards that we provide you with for your security. So your uh, higher management can have a view of your security landscape all the time. And for senior managers at SMEs, senior management CEOs, what does it give you? It gives you peace of mind. You can focus on your core business. You don't have to worry about cybersecurity. You don't have to worry about hiring people for cybersecurity. You don't have to worry about your program, and we'll basically sit with you and we'll do it for you. And for your IT managers and tech leads, you don't have to be intimidated that cybersecurity guys are going to come in and they're going to start interfering your work. Basically, our team will work as sort of an extension of your team and will help you and guide you in implementing security. Because I've seen in a lot of large and even small enterprises, the biggest sort of fear for them is that they think that if the cybersecurity guys or information security guys are going to come in, they're going to do the audits, they're going to do uh, risk assessments, they're going to uh, make us implement these kind of controls that are going to restrict our access. It does not happen that way. There is a whole systematic way of doing it, and we do it with you, not we don't force it on you. And these are our technology partners at NodeCypher. We have partnerships with endpoint security providers like TecMan, Byte, backup providers like Electronis. We have our own SOC, and we use other security uh, products as well. Okay, so we are at the end of our presentation, and if you have questions and answers, please feel free. I'm here to answer to the best of my knowledge.
So, yes, Mr. Ghani, thank you so much for your great presentation on the cybersecurity essentials. Before I start over the questions, I must say once again, thank you to you. And really, we do understand that cybersecurity threats are not only for the big companies, it's equally concerning for the mid-size and the small-scale companies. And as you said, that 43% of the cybersecurity breach victims are basically the small-scale companies. So overall, SME are the prime target for sure. And as I understand from your presentation, that the social engineering is good, but at the same time, we need to take all the protective measures to stay secure from the cyber attacks. And I must say that cybersecurity is not only good for is not only about securing information, but it's also about security of your people, your processes, and your technology. So, solution is definitely to train your people and processes more, right? So, yes, we can move towards the questions. There are a few questions, and one of question is um, actually it's someone said from as a on the behalf of the company that we are a very small business with only a few employees. Do we really need all these complex cybersecurity measures? So, what is your opinion on this?
Yes, and no. Even basically, there are solutions for SMEs and for large organizations,
Hmm.
and we at NodeCypher also understand that not all the companies, specifically the small and medium enterprises, they have the resources, uh, financial as well as human resources, to sort of cater for uh, the cybersecurity needs of the organization, because the attackers, they do not care if you
Yeah.
have a large organization or a small budget or a large budget. They're going to attack you. So what we do is basically sit with you, and as I mentioned earlier, during the session, the discovery session we call it, we try to understand what your existing security posture is, and what your budget is, what your requirements are, and how much sort of secure do you want to be in that kind of budget. So basically, uh, we provide you sort of a customized solution for your requirements. And interestingly, most of the small organizations, they do go with the managed
Hmm.
services, because it gives them a security and a peace of mind at a very, very affordable cost.
Thank you so much. There is one more question. Uh, let's bring up on the screen. So, how much does the cybersecurity typically cost for an small medium enterprise? We have a very tight budget, so it's a very obvious question by many of the companies because budget is a main
Yes,
concern.
yes. Yeah, actually, that is the first question that the companies talk
Yeah.
about is financial, because when you go to a website, when you're purchasing something, you have the amount right there, um, on the screen, that okay, if you want to buy this shoes or this computer, this is the amount you have to pay. But with cybersecurity and with the managed services, it's a bit trickier than that. In order to understand what price you have to pay for a service, we have to first understand what your requirements are. So I would not put sort of a dollar figure that okay, but we do have different options. There are pay-as-you-go options as well for really small companies, where they do not have to make an upfront investment into cybersecurity, which is a good option, and you can just pay by the month, by the user, or by the endpoint for the security. And we have different pricing models where,
Yes.
apart from the technology solutions like endpoint security and cloud security, if you want to avail the VCSO services, which are the virtual chief information security officer, which are basically uh, the the expertise services that we provide, like you can make use of our expertise. We provide, or we develop policies for you. We develop your incident response plan. So we can do that. We can provide you those services on sort of ongoing basis as well. You don't have to invest upfront in that. So again, to answer the question, uh, oh, we have to sit down with you in order to understand how much
Hmm.
it will cost for you. But there are different ways in which you can pay for these services.
Yeah. Very well answered. Thank you. There is one more question. So another question on the behalf of the company. So we use a lot of cloud services like Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. Isn't it their security sufficient enough that they can manage?
Yes, basically, when you go to cloud, if you go to cloud provider, their security model that basically works on what we call a shared security model, meaning that
Yeah.
you share the security responsibility with them. They will secure some part of it, but they will not secure the data part of this the security. So you have to implement your own security, and we have several solutions for specifically for cloud that secure your cloud workload. Cloud workload is basically whatever data you're retaining on the cloud that is protected by what we call our cloud workload protection solutions that we implement to secure the cloud workload, as well as accessing that cloud data would require your computers, your mobile phones. So again, we're talking about the endpoint security that needs to be implemented in order to access the cloud workloads. And so basically, the security on cloud services is sitting with the cloud provider and yourself as well.
Yeah, that's great. So we have, I think, one more question. Yes, what role does employee training play in the reducing cyber risk for SMEs? So this is what exactly I said. We need to train more people, more processes, and I think so. It's a similar question related to that.
Yeah, basically, I think this is one of the key and the most important areas of cybersecurity is the people. The systems, they a lot of times come pre-configured with security policies. People do not. So when somebody comes on
Yeah.
board, then you have to configure their security policy and sort of train them. Uh, I mean, it's not that normal people are not trained in their general life as well. These days, we do get, you know, kind of these trainings everywhere in the world on your mobile phones. Even the PTA keeps sending you these messages. Your bank keeps sending you these messages that how you can be secure or why, how not to click on the links. But still, sometimes, a lot of times, as I mentioned, uh, the social engineering does take over people, and the greed and the fear kicks in, and people do fall for these kind of attacks as well. And again, this is sort of reinforcement that training is reinforcement. You have to reinforce the same thing over and over and over again in order to condition your mind, in order to a guard yourself from these attacks and be wary of the attacks even before they happen to you. So yes, employee security or employees training is a very crucial part of your cybersecurity regime.
So in the more proactive and more protective is better, right? So
Yes.
there are many questions, Mr. Swan, coming up to you, but we will take another one, and this will be the last one for you.
How
So
often,
how often should
again,
we train? Yeah,
yes, how often,
yeah.
again, is a very subjective question that how often you should be trained.
Yeah,
As I mentioned, we keep on getting, I got like three messages today, one from my bank and one from, my work that, you should secure yourself like that. You should not click your, you know, link, any links that are sent to you through SMS. You should always call your bank. So this is, I mean, we're getting trained as often as we can on a daily basis. But again, there are some uh, annual training exercises that you should have in place in your organization because this is just phishing. There are a lot of other areas in which you need to train your employees on annual basis as well as on a recurring basis as well. And as I mentioned earlier, that it does not have to be uh, a, a, instructor-led training all the time. It could be trainings whereby you can train them using videos, using flyers, using studies. So those kind of trainings should be available all the time with them. But yes, you should have a training program with at least one annual training in your schedule.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And yes, thank you so much. I think so. We have, as I said, we have so many questions, but we need to consider the time constraint as well. So it's a 1 hour session. Uh, what I would say again that if guys, if you want to reach Mr. Usman Ghani, you can reach on his LinkedIn as well. Uh, that is basically on LinkedIn. It's Usman Ghani 748. Okay, so we have our upcoming sessions as well, which you can find on our official pages of LinkedIn and Facebook. And you can also find those on our TecMan Academy sessions link as well. You can also find more sessions on the YouTube channel where we are currently on live streaming. Plus, for Mr. Usman, we have another sessions which are free as well, live sessions. There are a couple of sessions coming in July, another three sessions coming in August, another two are coming in the September, and one in October. These are the free sessions. Hope you will be joining those as well. There are also some paid session as well for the companies and for the groups as well. 1 day sessions which are starting from the November. Then in December there are two sessions. Then in January 2026 there are three sessions, and in February there are two sessions. So I hope this session is basically being very productive for you all guys who joined us, and even who will be watching this session later on YouTube. You will be finding very productive for yourself. So this is all done from this session, and thank you so much for joining and participating in this session. Thank you, Usman, Mr. Usman. It's really, thank you for your valuable time, and I hope this is very informative for many of people who is watching now and will be watching later. And you can subscribe our channel as well for more updates as well. Right? Thank you again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.